Listen up, ever caught a girl looking at you and wondered what that really means? Stop scrolling, because every glance carries a hidden story, and most men never decode it. Today, you'll finally understand what her eyes are trying to tell you before she ever says a word. If you're ready to read unspoken attraction and master silent communication, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more deep insights every week. Reason 1. There's a look that lingers longer than politeness allows, a quiet pause that speaks before words ever appear. When a girl's gaze locks onto you and then quickly withdraws, that fleeting hesitation often reveals subconscious attraction rather than casual curiosity. It's not about confidence or appearance alone, but about something deeper, the way your presence disrupts her rhythm, the way your energy occupies silent space. Attraction begins not with decision but with reaction, and the eyes are always the first to confess it. Here's the psychology behind it. Studies on visual fixation show that prolonged or repeated glances activate the brain's reward circuits associated with desire and recognition. When she looks away, and then returns for another glance, her subconscious is literally verifying emotional data. She's processing your body language, tone, and energy pattern in microseconds, searching for signals of safety, charisma, and authenticity. That repetition of looking isn't randomness, it's instinctive verification that her emotional intuition has found something magnetic. Notice how her pupils behave when her attention meets yours. Slight dilation indicates heightened emotional or biological engagement, a subtle physiological cue impossible to fake. Her expression may soften, her breathing slow slightly, and her posture unconsciously shift toward openness. These microsignals often appear before her conscious mind catches up, which is why she might suddenly look away, appearing shy or uncertain. Her retreat doesn't mean rejection, it means her conscious mind is trying to rationalize what instinct already felt. Men who recognize this subtle exchange don't rush to interpret it through ego. They remain calm, grounded, and observant, allowing attraction to breathe naturally. They understand that genuine interest unfolds quietly before words ever surface. The power lies not in reaction but in awareness, seeing beyond the surface glance to the story behind it. When her eyes linger just long enough to disturb her composure, it's not a coincidence, it's chemistry written in silence. Reason 2. Sometimes a girl's look isn't driven by attraction but by assessment, a silent study unfolding behind calm eyes. She's not just looking at you, she's reading you. Women are naturally intuitive observers. They decode posture, movement, and micro-expressions faster than most men can articulate a thought. When her eyes scan you briefly and pause at particular details, your stance, expression, or even how you engage with others, she's collecting data. It's her subconscious evaluation process, determining whether your presence signals confidence, composure, or concealed insecurity. From a psychological perspective, this behavior aligns with social cognition, the human ability to interpret others' emotional states through nonverbal cues. Women, through both social conditioning and instinct, refine this skill to extraordinary precision. Her glance might seem casual, yet it's layered with meaning, analyzing your self-awareness, the ease in your movements, and whether your energy feels grounded or performative. This analysis often occurs within seconds, long before any conversation begins. Observe how she looks when analyzing. Her gaze may hold steady but detached, not soft like attraction nor defensive like discomfort. It travels deliberately, often starting from your eyes and tracing downward, mapping your physical confidence and emotional steadiness. Sometimes she tilts her head slightly, a subconscious gesture of curiosity mixed with evaluation. If she maintains brief yet repeated eye contact across moments, she's refining her conclusion each time, quietly forming an impression that could determine how she interacts later. The most self-aware men never rush to interpret this as flirtation. They understand that respect grows from the way one carries themselves before words are spoken. A composed demeanor, relaxed shoulders, and subtle awareness of space all communicate volumes. When she studies you, she's not trying to judge, she's trying to understand. Her gaze reflects her mind at work, weighing authenticity over appearance. In those moments, you are not being admired, you're being measured. But when your presence remains consistent, calm, self-contained, and emotionally clear, that analysis often turns into intrigue. What begins as observation quietly transforms into fascination, all without a single word exchanged. Reason 3. There's a look that doesn't linger. Out of affection but rather curiosity, a deliberate glance meant to measure your composure under pressure. When a girl looks directly into your eyes and holds her gaze longer than usual, she isn't always flirting. Sometimes, she's quietly testing your ability to remain calm in the face of silent scrutiny. Confidence, after all, isn't declared through words, it's revealed in how you hold stillness. Her gaze becomes the stage upon which your self-assurance is quietly examined. Psychologically, this is linked to dominance testing, a subtle social behavior where individuals assess hierarchy and confidence without verbal interaction. When her stare feels deliberate, steady, and unapologetic, she's observing how your body reacts. Do your eyes dart away? Does your posture shift defensively? Those tiny responses convey far more than your appearance ever could. In that instant, she's gauging whether your confidence is genuine or merely performed. A confident man doesn't resist the gaze, he respects it. He doesn't stare aggressively nor retreat nervously. Instead, he meets her eyes with composed stillness, acknowledging her without challenging her. That balance between awareness and calmness is magnetic because it signals emotional control, not arrogance. Women instinctively recognize this balance. It communicates maturity, security, and the absence of fear, all qualities that the human mind associates with strength and stability. Watch her expression carefully. If her look remains unwavering but her lips curve slightly afterward, she's signaling acknowledgement, silent approval that you passed her unspoken test. If she glances away quickly and then looks back later, she's likely intrigued, processing the energy exchange. Either way, that interaction is a negotiation of confidence conducted entirely through the eyes. Men who understand this dynamic don't overanalyze it or turn it into a contest. They remain grounded, knowing that composure itself is the answer. The moment you can hold her gaze with quiet certainty, you shift from being evaluated to being respected. Confidence, after all, isn't about dominance, it's about peace that doesn't flinch under attention. Reason 4. Sometimes a girl's look isn't romantic or analytical, it's purely driven by intrigue. You've done something that caught her subconscious attention, something subtle that pulled her focus without intention. Maybe it's your calm energy in a noisy space, your confident silence in a crowd, or the way you move without demanding attention. Whatever it is, her curiosity awakens, and her mind starts asking silent questions. Who is he? Why does he seem different? That's when her eyes begin to follow, not with longing but with fascination. Psychologists describe this as stimulus attraction, a natural response to novelty and mystery. The brain is hardwired to notice contrast, anything that breaks familiar patterns. When your demeanor doesn't fit the expected social rhythm, her perception locks onto it. Her gaze lingers not to judge or desire but to gather more information. This type of look often appears when she's processing intrigue that doesn't yet have an emotional label. She's not sure if it's attraction, admiration, or just curiosity, so her attention circles you like a satellite, quietly observing until clarity forms. Her eyes might flick toward you when you're not looking, retreating the moment you notice. She may glance again moments later, as though verifying something she still can't define. Sometimes, curiosity arises from a single unexpected gesture, a thoughtful pause before speaking, an unguarded expression, or even the restraint to stay silent where others overreact. These nuances signal depth, and depth always provokes curiosity. Men who understand this kind of gaze never force it into meaning. They let intrigue breathe. They stay grounded, aware that curiosity must evolve naturally into connection, not be pressured into interest. If you respond with calm presence rather than eagerness, her mind will continue exploring you long after the moment passes. The mystery deepens because it wasn't interrupted by self-consciousness. When curiosity lingers, attraction often follows, not because of appearance but because of unanswered emotion. The human mind craves resolution, and when a woman can't quite define what she feels, she keeps looking. Sometimes, the most powerful impression is the one that remains unsolved. Reason 5. There are moments when a girl looks at you not from logic, not from curiosity, but from something deeper she can't rationalize. It's an emotional magnetism that bypasses thought entirely, where her gaze becomes both instinct and confession. You've triggered something in her, a resonance, a memory, an emotional vibration that feels familiar even if she's never met you before. Her look lingers because it's not observation anymore, it's connection trying to understand itself. Psychologists call this emotional transference, a subconscious process where internal feelings project outward onto someone who evokes them. Maybe your tone reminds her of safety she once knew, or your quiet strength mirrors a quality she silently desires. In that instant, you become more than a face, you become a feeling. Her eyes are searching for why. This is not a flirtatious glance or a polite acknowledgement. It's slower, softer, and often filled with contradiction. You'll notice her expression shift between presence and distance, as though she's half in the room and half in her thoughts. That's the visual signature of emotional pull. When a woman feels this, her body language betrays it before her words ever could. Her posture softens, her breathing slows, her micro-expressions ripple between comfort and confusion. She's drawn, but she doesn't know why. It's not about attraction in the traditional sense, it's emotional recognition. Something in you feels known, and that familiarity feels rare enough to make her pause. Men who recognize this kind of gaze don't rush it. They understand that this moment carries weight, emotional, psychological, and human. If you meet her look with authenticity rather than performance, the connection strengthens without effort. Eye contact becomes communication, silence becomes dialogue, and presence becomes the only language needed. Sometimes, emotional pull isn't about beginning something new. It's about awakening something dormant, the quiet reminder that connection doesn't always start with words. When she looks at you this way, you're witnessing unspoken honesty. Her mind may question it, but her eyes never lie. That's the look of someone who feels something real and doesn't yet understand why.